Hello and welcome to the Breakpoint Risk Management Training on Driver Safety. This course is intended for workers who drive as part of their job requirements, such as delivery drivers and outside sales personnel, as well as for the average worker who commutes back and forth to work. OSHA does not have any specific requirements for defensive driving. However, the Department of Transportation has requirements for long-haul truck drivers. Truck drivers must have physicals, maintain driving logs, vehicle inspections, etc. These requirements are beyond the scope of this training. This training session will focus on traffic laws and common sense defensive driving. This training session has been designed to help every employee understand the basics of defensive driving. If your job requires you to drive for the company, such as delivery or salesperson, the company wants you to drive safely. The company values its employees and does not want anyone injured or killed in a traffic accident. The company is also concerned about the financial costs related to vehicle damage and employee injuries, because the injuries are considered work-related. Even if your job does not require you to drive for the company, your employer still wants you to arrive at work and return home safely. The company does not have any financial liability associated with your commute back and forth to work, but does not want any valued employee injured or killed in traffic-related accidents. A defensive driver is someone who can recognize real and potential hazards, how to respond to a specific hazard, and will use his or her knowledge to react in time to avoid a hazard or motor vehicle accident. According to the National Safety Council, someone dies in a motor vehicle accident every 12 minutes, and more than 41,000 people lose their lives in motor vehicle accidents each year. Annually, motor vehicle accidents cause approximately 91,000 lost workday injuries. A defensive driver is someone who recognizes real and potential hazards. This list of driving hazards is by no means all-inclusive of the hazards that may be faced. Can you think of any other hazards you may encounter? Reckless driving includes speeding, weaving through traffic, ignoring signals and signs, etc. Bad weather conditions include rain, snow, fog, and ice. Poorly lit roadways may make it difficult to see at night, and glaring sunlight, especially during the sunrise or sunset, can make it difficult to see. Heavy traffic is a hazard because of the close location of the other cars and cars that are switching lanes and trying to pass each other. Distracted drivers seem to be a hot topic in the news today, including drivers using cell phones or putting on makeup. Vehicles in poor operating condition also present a hazard, including those with brakes that are not working effectively, lights that are out, tires that are bald, etc. The driver's physical condition refers to driving while sleepy or impaired by alcohol or drugs. Of course, the defensive driver would never drive recklessly. The at-risk behaviors listed here and those not listed increase your chances of being involved in some type of accident. Not only do you put your life on the line, but you also risk the lives of the passengers in your vehicle and the lives of those in the vehicles near you. Speeding is an obvious example of reckless driving. Exceeding the posted speed limit as well as driving faster than the flow of traffic are both examples of reckless driving. If you're going more than 5 or 10 miles per hour faster than other vehicles, you are driving recklessly. What about driving too slow? If you're going 10 miles slower than other vehicles, you're also causing a hazard because other drivers going with the flow of traffic are forced to slow down and then try to change lanes around you. Drive the speed limit and go with the flow of traffic. Tailgating is also reckless driving. If the vehicle in front of you suddenly slows or swerves to avoid debris in the road, you may not have time to react and will likely be involved in an accident. Maintain a distance of at least 2 seconds. Illegal passing refers to passing where it is not safe. Passing areas are designated by broken yellow lines. Do not pass in heavy traffic, when the road ahead curves, or when there are hills or valleys up ahead. A defensive driver will avoid passing altogether. Reckless drivers ignore traffic signs and signals. They go through stoplights, ignore yield signs, speed, or pass in illegal areas. Reckless drivers also weave through traffic and often don't use turn signals. They are unpredictable and a hazard to all the other drivers in the area. Snow and ice obviously result in very slippery conditions. Drivers can lose control if their vehicle hits a patch of ice. So not only do you have to be concerned about your own vehicle losing control, but you also need to watch all the vehicles around you so you can avoid an accident if one of those cars loses control. Stopping is also difficult. At intersections, make sure other cars around you are coming to a safe stop before proceeding. Rain reduces visibility and makes the roads slick. Often, the spray from other vehicles, especially large trucks, reduces visibility more than the rain itself. Hydroplaning is also another concern when it rains. Your car can lose its grip with the road as it skips across a puddle of water. Fog obviously reduces visibility. Drivers cannot see how close they are to other cars, if cars in front of them have stopped, or if there's a stop sign or signal ahead. Severe winds are also dangerous, especially for larger vehicles. The winds can make it difficult to keep the vehicle in the proper lane. Driving at night is a hazard for many reasons. Obviously, the driver cannot see as well as in the daytime. 90% of a driver's reaction time depends on vision, which is severely limited at night. Depth perception, color, and peripheral vision are all reduced. Lights from oncoming vehicles make it difficult to see. The driver is also more likely to be tired. Unlit roads, curves, and intersections can be hazardous because it can be difficult to follow the road when it's difficult to see. Drivers going too fast may not see how the road changes in front of them and may not be able to react in time. Sunset and sunrise are difficult times of the day to drive because the sun is low and gets right in the driver's eyes. It is especially difficult to see signs or signals when driving directly toward the sun. Glaring sunlight also reduces the driver's vision. The driver may be forced to squint by the glaring sun that reflects off of other cars. The driver's eyes, in turn, become tired quickly from constant squinting. Distracted driving is becoming a common topic in the news. Some state and local governments have passed laws against distracted driving and things that people cannot do while driving. Using a cellular phone is probably the most common way for drivers to be distracted. Not only is the driver's hand holding the phone, but the driver's concentration is also focused on the conversation rather than the road. The driver may also have to look at the phone in order to dial or answer a call, which takes his or her eyes away from the road. Road rage seems to be a regular topic in the news today. It's a violent anger caused by the stress and frustration of driving. In extreme cases, road rage has turned into fights, shootings, or intentional crashes. Eating and drinking while in the car is also distracting. One or even both hands are tied up while trying to consume the food or beverage. Applying makeup is another common distraction, especially during the morning commute. Some drivers will even attempt to write notes or read while driving. This is often combined with cell phone use. A driver takes notes on the phone call just received or tries to read an address book in order to dial a phone number, for instance. Drivers engrossed in a conversation with passengers are often distracted from the road. The driver might miss a turn or exit from a highway or fail to see the cars in front begin to slow down. Vehicle maintenance is an important part of driving safely. Follow the maintenance procedures and timelines described in the vehicle's owner's manual. Regular tune-ups should be performed and should include changing spark plugs and wires, as well as inspecting and changing belts and hoses. The oil should be changed on a regular basis, typically 3 months or 3,000 miles. Check the owner's manual. Antifreeze or coolant levels need to be maintained and checked for both winter and summer driving conditions. Have brakes inspected and replaced per the requirements of the owner's manual. Make sure the battery is in good condition and maintains a good charge. Tires should be changed per the tire manufacturer's recommendations. If your climate has weather conditions such as snow or lots of rain, then change the tires more often to maintain good tread during adverse weather. Most people think of alcohol consumption when they think of impaired drivers. However, other substances or conditions may cause a driver to be impaired. Illegal drugs also cause impairments that make it dangerous to drive. Prescription medication, such as muscle relaxants, can cause driving impairment. Prescription drugs might cause reduced reaction time, sleepiness, blurred vision, etc. Most doctors will tell you not to drive when medication causes driving impairments. Even over-the-counter cold remedies can cause driving impairments, as drowsiness is a common side effect of those cold remedies. Lack of sleep is another driving impairment. A driver struggling to stay awake is just as dangerous as a driver under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Impaired drivers are dangerous because they're not as physically and mentally sharp and focused as they need to be in order to drive safely. Their reactions are slower. The impaired driver may not be able to respond in time to avoid an accident. The driver may not be able to steer around an obstruction, turn the steering wheel in response to a slide, or step on the brakes in order to avoid rear-ending a stopped car. Impaired drivers often have blurred vision. They cannot detect the hazards in time to respond. The driver may also have impaired judgment. He or she cannot make a decision quick enough to react to a hazard. Impaired drivers may also have reduced ability to gauge distance. When these impairments are combined, the driver may be dangerously close to being involved in an accident. An impaired driver may not see the hazard in time, cannot decide what to do, and then cannot react in time, which likely results in an accident. It's important to look ahead and keep your eyes on other drivers, always expecting them to do the unexpected. Watch for cars passing, merging, changing lanes, etc. Try to anticipate what other drivers plan to do. Watch for brake lights or turn signals. Not only do you need to look at the car directly in front of you, you also need to look at the cars that are in front of them. If you see a car that is 3 or 4 cars in front of you signal its turn lights, begin to slow down because the car directly in front of you may not have noticed the turn signal and may have to brake hard to slow down. Do not be caught unprepared. Use the 2-second rule to maintain a safe distance between you and the car in front of you. This means maintain a distance of 2 seconds. Find a point on the side of the road, such as a utility pole or a sign, and as soon as the car in front of you passes that point, begin counting. 1001, 1002. If you pass the point on the side of the road before you say 2, then you're following too closely. A 4-second rule is recommended for driving in bad weather, such as fog, rain, or snow. Watch the road in front of you and keep an eye out for pedestrians, bicycles, animals, potholes, debris, etc. Always expect the unexpected. If another driver begins to tailgate and drive too close to you, do not become angry or impatient. Do not allow yourself to slip into road rage. Instead, pull over and allow the tailgater to pass. Avoid sudden stops. Watch the cars in front of you and be prepared to step on your brakes if you see turn signals or brake lights. Give the cars behind you a warning by tapping quickly on your brakes once or twice. Hopefully, they will see your brake lights and also begin to slow. Use turn signals and brakes well in advance. Give drivers behind you plenty of opportunity to see your warning lights so they can begin to slow down. Give them the opportunity to avoid stopping suddenly. Check your side and rearview mirrors constantly and keep an eye on the traffic behind you. Also, know your mirror's blind spots so you know when and where to turn your head and check for other cars. Road rage, a violent anger caused by the stress and frustration of driving, seems to be becoming more and more common in the news today. In extreme cases, road rage has turned into fights, shootings, or even intentional crashes. Some common signs of a driver with road rage include aggressive driving, such as weaving in and out of traffic. The driver is usually distracted because he or she is focused on yelling or swearing at other drivers, maybe pounding the steering wheel in frustration or attempting to get the attention of other drivers. Avoid road rage by steering clear of aggressive drivers who exhibit some of the signs of road rage. Be a courteous driver by allowing other vehicles to merge, maintain a safe distance from cars in front of you, and smile at other drivers. Focus on the road instead of on the other drivers. Avoid eye contact with drivers who are exhibiting signs of road rage. Even a light rain can make the roads very slick. Slow down in rainy conditions. In addition to slick roads, visibility is decreased not only from the rain, but also from the spray of the vehicles in front of you. Avoid puddles of water as they can hide other hazards such as potholes. Puddles can also cause cars to hydroplane, which happens when the tires no longer have contact with the road surface and are skipping across the surface of the water. Applying the brakes will increase your chances of hydroplaning, so instead take your foot off the gas pedal and slow down gradually. Increase your visibility to other drivers by turning on your lights, even during the day. Use your windshield wipers and the defroster to increase your own vision. Change wiper blades on a regular basis and be sure to clean the wiper blades when you wash your car. Driving in the snow is especially dangerous. If you're afraid to drive in the snow, don't do it. Stay home, have someone else drive you, or take public transportation. Clear the snow completely from your car. Keeping a pile of snow on your hood just reduces your visibility. Make sure you put snow tires on before the snows start to fall. Have chains in the car and be prepared to use them, practicing putting on the chains at home so you'll know how to do it when you need them. Keep emergency supplies in the car, such as blankets, food, a cell phone, shovel, and sand. Slow down. Driving in the snow can be treacherous. Prepare in advance and allow more time for stops and turns. Turns may be slick, so slow down well in advance so you can take the corner safely without sliding. Be sure to use your blinkers so others are aware of your intentions. Double the normal distance maintained between you and the other cars in front of you. You'll need more distance to stop or avoid an accident should cars in front of you begin to slide or go out of control. A 4-second rule is recommended for snow and ice conditions. Watch for ice. Know where ice is more likely to be, such as bridges, which are often very icy. They are elevated from the ground, so they stay cold and frozen. The ground maintains temperature and helps warm up roads that are not elevated. Also, spots that are shaded from the sun are more likely to be icy. If you're stranded in your car during a snowstorm, do not leave unless you are absolutely certain that you can improve your situation. Do not leave to find help. Leave only if you can see a house or some other building and you know for sure that you can get help and find shelter there. Attract attention to your car. Light flares or hang a bright red or orange cloth from the antenna so drivers passing by will know that someone needs help. Wrap up in blankets, newspaper, or anything else that you can use to retain your body heat. Run the car engine about 10 minutes every hour. This will help heat up the car and you. However, do not run the engine more in order to conserve fuel. Before running your engine, make sure the exhaust pipe is not blocked by snow. A blocked exhaust pipe will send carbon monoxide into the car, which can kill you. Keep one window open slightly to bring in fresh air and vent out any exhaust fumes that may enter the car. You should always inspect your vehicle before getting behind the wheel. Test your horn to make sure it works correctly. Check your lights, both front and rear, brake lights, and turn signals to make sure they're all operating correctly. Vision is a vital part of safe driving, so make sure your windows, mirrors, and your vehicle's lights are clean. Check your brakes by stopping quickly while going only a few miles an hour. The car should respond by stopping right away. Inspect your tire tread, look for any signs of damage, and make sure tires have adequate pressure. Keep a tire gauge in the car to check the tire pressure on a regular basis. Look for any fluid, like oil or antifreeze, leaks under the car. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, an estimated 374,276 lives have been saved by seatbelts from 1975 to 2017. A properly worn seatbelt will prevent drivers and passengers from hitting the dashboard, steering wheel, and windshield when involved in an accident. A seatbelt will keep drivers and passengers inside the car, which increases the chances of survival. You're 25 times more likely to be killed when thrown from the vehicle during an accident. The seatbelt is designed to use your body's strong bones to absorb the shock rather than damaging delicate organs. Wearing a seatbelt increases your chance of remaining conscious after a crash. When conscious, you'll be able to help others get out of the vehicle if necessary. A seatbelt also keeps the driver in control of the vehicle if he or she is forced to swerve or brake suddenly. Instead of being tossed out of the seat and no longer in control of the vehicle, the driver is in place and in control in case more action is necessary. The law requires that children sit in specially designed safety seats. In order for the safety seats to work properly, they must be used according to the manufacturer's instructions. Infant safety seats are usually designed for children weighing less than 20 pounds. Toddler safety seats are for children weighing 20 to 40 pounds, and booster seats, which raise the children so the normal seatbelt will cross their bodies at the appropriate points, are designed for children weighing 40 to 80 pounds. Children under the age of 12 should never ride in the front seat of a car that has a passenger side airbag. According to the National Safety Council, drunk drivers kill more than 11,600 people in 2020. Drunk drivers are the cause of more than 1/3 of all traffic crashes. Volunteer to be a designated driver. Make sure friends do not drive after drinking alcohol. Call them a cab or drive them home. Watch for signs of impaired drivers, such as swerving, abnormal speeds, ignoring stop signs and signals, etc. Avoid these drivers by allowing them to pass or make a U-turn and use a different route to reach your destination. Avoid fatigue, which results in a trance-like state known as highway hypnosis. Fatigue deadens a driver's senses and slows reactions. To avoid fatigue, get plenty of sleep before taking a long driving trip. Don't start your long trip late in the day because you need to be fresh and alert. Passengers can take turns driving, and conversation can also help keep the driver alert. Avoid long drives in the dark. The glare from oncoming headlights and the dashboard can contribute to highway hypnosis. Take plenty of breaks every 2 hours. Stop at a rest stop, gas station, restaurant, etc. Walk around, stretch, go for a jog, or get something to eat or drink. Adjust your vehicle's environment. Open a window, change the radio station, and avoid the use of cruise control. Finally, if the fatigue is too much, take a 20-minute nap and then drive to a hotel where you can get some rest before continuing your journey. Remember, fatigue does not only impact drivers on long trips. Fatigue also impacts commuters. If tired after work, take a short nap in your car or exercise before driving home. Every vehicle should have an emergency supply kit in the trunk or back seat. Your kits should include a spare tire, jumper cables, a toolkit or multi-tool, flashlight and extra batteries, reflective triangles, a first aid kit, drinking water, a reflective vest, and any other supplies you feel may be necessary. Make sure you also know how to properly use the emergency supplies like the tire jack, flares, jumper cables, etc. They will not help in an emergency if you do not know how to use them. If you are involved in a vehicle crash, remember that most people will be upset and emotions will be high, so remain calm. Move the cars off to the side of the road, have all the cars turn off their ignition, do a first aid check on all drivers and passengers, call police and medical services if necessary, collect names and insurance information and driver's license numbers, draw a picture of the accident scene or take pictures. Consider carrying a disposable camera in your car. Do not point blame or discuss fault. Get the police officer's information so you can request a copy of the police report. Remember, operating a motor vehicle is dangerous, but it can also be a pleasant experience. Use common sense, obey speed limits, and drive defensively. Always observe road safety rules and be careful, alert, courteous, and safe. Don't forget that distracted driving can be just as dangerous as alcohol-impaired driving.